Okay, I'm going to call this special meeting of the Village of Riverwoods Board of Trustees to order. It's a little past 7 o'clock on June 14th. We are meeting virtually tonight under the exceptions to the Open Meetings Act on the basis of Governor Pritzker's executive orders concerning the COVID emergency. And my determination as village president that it is not practical or prudent to meet in person at this time. Accordingly, this meeting is being conducted virtually with board members participating through the Zoom platform. A village official is present in Village Hall. That's me during this meeting as required by the Open Meetings Act. Public comment may be emailed to the village at the web address shown in the agenda. We will not be using the chat function because it is not captured on the audio for recording of the meeting. So with that, I will ask our clerk for the roll call, please.
Trustee Clayton,
Here.
Trustee Dickon,
Here.
Trustee Eastman,
Here.
Trustee Hollander,
Here.
President Ford.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Okay, our first and only order of business at this special meeting, and the reason the meeting is being conducted, is to consider an ordinance approving assignment and assumption of redevelopment agreement and assumption ratification of guaranteed obligations. Paren GMX/Thornton's 1055 Milwaukee Avenue. Council, if you could please lead us through this.
Yes, thank you. There's a memo to the board in the packet. Just going through some of the prior history here. The village did enter into a TIF redevelopment agreement with Riverwoods Development Partners, LLC, which is an affiliate of GMX Real Estate Group, LLC. So we've referred to them as GMX since the beginning. And oftentimes when parties develop real estate, they will form a single purpose entity. In this case, Riverwoods Development Partners LLC, it was a single purpose entity that's designed to insulate liabilities from different transactions, different lenders. And so GMX formed a subsidiary to be the named redeveloper under the redevelopment agreement. And we've been going merrily along. Then as it gets closer to actually beginning construction, GMX has been looking at financing partners and explained to us, I've been in touch with their counsel for GMX as well as for the new party here, Net Leasing Alliance is a company that has offices. I may have to ask Andy Goodman to correct me here, but I think in Tennessee, Alabama, a couple of other places. They specialize in investing with local development partners such as GMX. They bring financial expertise and lending contacts to the arrangement. Counsel for GMX has shared with me that GMX has probably participated or in the process of participating in about 12 different financing transactions with Net Leasing Alliance, where they're essentially their partner in a deal, helping them finance a deal, get construction financing and put it together. In order for Net Leasing Alliance NLA to go forward, they themselves have formed a single purpose entity, which they called NLA Riverwoods LLC, very creative name. They prefer in their financing structure that their single purpose entity hold title to the property. They have a separate agreement, a co-development agreement, which I've reviewed with GMX, which specifies essentially that GMX is going to be responsible for being the development partner, performing all the development services, overseeing the construction, getting the project developed. And LA is essentially, in that sense, the financial partner. However, they do want to hold title to the property in their single purpose entity. And in order to do that, the redevelopment agreement, right now, everything runs to the named redeveloper, which is this other entity that GMX formed. In order to transfer that over, we've prepared an ordinance to approve the assignment because it requires board approval under the redevelopment agreement. And in the document, it not only assigns the rights from the GMX affiliate over to the NLA affiliate, but has that NLA affiliate assume all of the obligations, agree to perform all the obligations of the redeveloper. And because these single purpose entities don't usually have a lot of assets, we ask GMX to be a backup, a guarantor of the obligations of its affiliate under the redevelopment agreement. It's staying on in that capacity, but we've asked the parent of this NLA affiliate to also execute the same guarantee that GMX guaranteed. So we now have the former party, the new party, both guaranteeing the obligations of the redeveloper under the redevelopment agreement. I view all of this as primarily driven by financing structures and considerations. The task of the redeveloper under the redevelopment agreement is to actually accomplish the redevelopment, to get the project to fruition. GMX has done all the groundwork to now with engineering and site plan review and plan commission hearings and zoning and entitlement. And at this point, Lake County is doing some final reviews. We don't have their final permit yet, but there's nothing to suggest that it won't eventually be issued for the work that involves Deerfield Road. And the village is in receipt of complete engineering plans at this point. Building plans have been sent out to our code reviewing company for comments. Fire Protection District has given a review letter to the developer. The state fire marshal will be involved. So we were never insisting that all of those permits be obtained, only that the zoning be obtained and that the developer show that they have significantly solved all the material problems to be in a position to go forward, and that would be the trigger for closing. So the developer would like to close as soon as possible. The village has wanted to close already sooner, but the developer is suggesting that we close by the end of this week, if we can close on Friday. I would remind the board that when we close, the purchase price that the village will receive, the unadjusted purchase price, is $1,445,000 net of prorations and credits that may go either way. And there is a provision in the redevelopment agreement that if the developer manages to get the Thorntons open and in operation before the end of the year, there's a post-closing purchase price reduction, a credit. It's an incentive to get them to operate early, open early, to spend money on Deerfield Road improvements that are to some extent redundant or would be unnecessary if we simply waited until Lake County came. The time that we did that, and for those of you who weren't around, and if I'm repeating myself, that credit was sort of geared to a 2-year window. If a $400,000 credit incentive was earned, we expected to recoup that through the sales tax revenue we got from 2 years of early operation, earlier than we would get if we waited until Lake County came in and did the road before the developer did. At this point, it looks like the developer can make the timetable. The village will be in a position to earn sales tax revenue for at least 2 years, possibly longer, based on what we're hearing now. So while we are slated to receive $1,445,000 at the closing, I'm just reminding the board that there is potentially, developer certainly hopes for an incentive credit due back to the developer at the end of the year. Nevertheless, the village has an outstanding note from the general fund to the TIF fund of about $805,000 plus accrued interest and some other monies we've advanced. My expectation is that if we close, that there will be enough proceeds certainly to pay off the village note, and that money can be returned to the general fund. The balance of the purchase price and whatever other increment is left over from all of these credits back and forth would stay in the TIF fund and be available for future TIF activity. And of course, the board could also in the future make a new loan back to the TIF fund, but this loan can be paid off, and the idea was that it would be paid off from available increment when we had it. So the document that's before you, I sent around a red line with a few minor edits earlier today. I did discuss this and share this, my earlier draft with Trustee Hayburn. He and I chatted about it and he agreed with its concept. He gave me a couple of minor edits also that I included. This is a similar format to what we did some years ago because Lockup was the original redeveloper of the self-storage facility. When Lockup had just completed the facility before it even began opening it for use, I think, they came to the village and said that they had been approached by CubeSmart. It was a great deal. They couldn't turn it down. And with the village consent to the transfer to CubeSmart, which we did, and we did using a very similar assignment and assumption agreement. The primary difference here is that the assignment and assumption is occurring at the beginning of construction rather than right after construction. But functionally, the village is still, all the parties are still bound by the obligations of the redevelopment agreement. And the village is going to be collecting a letter of credit from the developer. In that case, it would probably be NLA Riverwoods or some party on their side. We don't really care who, because the letter of credit is going to come from a bank. But the zoning ordinance requires that we get a letter of credit in the amount of a number of the subdivision and site improvement costs that are slated here. I just was looking back in the past. We collected a letter of credit in the case of Lockup. It was over $600,000. I don't know if the number will be quite so big here, but it's 125%, I think, of the site improvement costs that we secure with a letter of credit. So we not only have the assumption by the new party, we not only have the guarantee by NLA, we also, I would say in the first order, we have a letter of credit to secure these improvements that they're completed in accordance with our agreement. So that's the background, the purpose of the document. My recommendation is that the board approve the transfer. I think it will facilitate the financing and the closing, bring in the sale price to the village, and allow the GMX to continue with its activities to get construction underway. Andy Goodman from GMX is here, so I asked him to be here to answer any questions.
Are there any questions from any of the trustees? Are there any questions that have come in to the email box?
No.
Is there a motion to wait? Oh, I'm sorry, Trustee Hollander.
No, I was just saying, I move to approve the revised contract.
Second.
It would be a motion to waive first reading of this ordinance, approving the assignment and assumption agreement.
I was just going to say that.
I'm sorry. I knew you were kind of. I saw you were.
I was just going to say that. Can I have a motion to waive first reading?
So, yes, I will make that motion.
Second.
There's second, please.
Second.
Is there any discussion about that motion? Hearing none, seeing none. May I have a roll call, please?
Trustee Eastman,
Aye.
Trustee Hollander,
Aye.
Trustee Clayton,
Aye.
Trustee Dickon.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. Trustee Hollander,
Now move to approve it for second reading.
is there a second to the second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Trustee Clayton?
Second.
Oh, you were just seconding it. Okay. Are there any questions? Is there any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Hollander,
Aye.
Trustee Clayton,
Aye.
Trustee Dickon,
Aye.
Trustee Eastman.
Aye.
Ordinance
Ordinance
approved.
passes.
And does it have a number?
220607.
Thank you very much. We very much appreciate the relationship and the positive votes and the vote of confidence in our project. We're excited to hopefully break ground pending receipt of permits, currently slated for July 25th. Knock on wood.
Construction. Did you
I
say
asked what,
construction? What? Did I hear that right?
what?
I'm sorry.
What did you say about the 25th?
We're we're hopeful that we're in a position where we have our permits in hand and we're able to start construction by July 25th.
Be still my beating heart.
It's only been what, about 3 years in the making? Does that sound about right?
That sounds about right, doesn't it?
So thank you very much, and we look forward to moving forward to the
I have
next.
a-
Yeah,
I have one question. Do you expect to have any modification in the traffic flow during construction?
I'm sure there'll be, at points, temporary barricades that we're going to need during the offsite work, but I'm not seeing a need to reroute traffic, if that's what you're asking.
Well, one of the things that we learned in our conference today, and I think you might have just been off, Andy, was that the construction access point is on Milwaukee, which should help.
Okay. Thank you.
Anything else? If not, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you all.
Just pick two.
Thank you.
And roll call, please.
Trustee Dickin,
Aye.
trustee Eastman,
Aye.
trustee Hollander, trustee Clayton.
Aye.
Thank you.
Well, thank you all for.
Thank you, Andy.
Bye.
Good
special-
luck with the project.
Thank you. Appreciate it
Good luck.
Have a great night.
very much.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye. Thank you.
Thanks again.